All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday, January 31st, 2023 Board of Selectmen meeting. We are here over cable access and being recorded this evening to open our executive session. We will then take a motion to go into executive closed session and then be back at 7 p.m. in live session for our regularly scheduled meeting. So with that, I will entertain a motion to enter into executive session.
To conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel, or to conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with non-union personnel regarding the contract for the appointed town manager, John Codere. Motion to enter into executive session to, I think it's the same thing.
Yep, that's it. So,
Second.
and we just need to roll call.
Mark, yes.
Dennis, yes?
Leah, yes?
Stephanie, yes?
Seth, yes.
All right, thank you, everyone. We will see you at 7 p.m. for our regular meeting. All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the January 31st meeting. We had opened our meeting earlier, entered into executive session, and are now back in open session. So we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, great. So I tried to keep the agenda light this evening since we were all in town meeting last night, but we do have quite a few items to get through this evening. So before we get started, anyone here for citizens input or anything come in through the inbox, Christina? No. Okay. All right, so with that, we will move right into the first item, approval of the new town manager contract, and I am thrilled to announce that we were able to agree to terms that I think both the Board of Selectmen and John Codere were both very happy with in the end. So we did finalize things in our executive session, and then we come out into open session, and we take a motion as a board to approve that contract. So I think we're ready for that motion. Any other discussions, comments from the board before we move to that?
Other than Leah did a wonderful job negotiating for the
Thank you.
town.
It was really great board effort on that, so it was a good process. And thank you to all those that helped us along the way as well.
And the steering committee.
Yes,
Candidates.
yes.
Great process.
It's been a long, interesting process. We've learned a lot, and I think this is kind of the last step and a lot more to come. So change can be scary and exciting, and I think we're all very excited.
Okay. Big motion here. Motion to approve the town manager contract for John Codere beginning April 10th, 2023 to June 30th, 2026.
Second.
Any further discussion? All right, so John will be starting with us on April 10th. That's the date that he will be starting. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Strangely enough, I think I started on April 14th.
So see?
Oh, well, how about that? Isn't that?
Good beginnings,
that's strange,
yeah.
huh? That's strange.
Great.
How it worked out.
All right, so we are a little bit ahead of schedule, but this isn't a public hearing, and this is really the bulk of our meeting tonight are a number of alcohol compliance hearings that we have this evening. So we do have Pat Costello on Zoom this evening. Pat, are you there?
No, he's not.
He's not there yet, so he will be joining us on Zoom. Maybe if we can shoot him a text, let him know we're just a little bit ahead of schedule. All right, so with that, I will turn it over to Chief Grace to kind of give an overview. I think if I've counted the groups right, we've got everyone here. So what we plan to do is instead of giving the background with every single hearing, we want to, kind of set the stage and let Chief Grace let us know how we came to this point, and then we'll individually go in order with the hearings that we have this evening. And then after that, we are going to go right into the change of manager application for the Renaiissance. So with that, I will turn it over to Chief Grace to kind of give us the background so we don't have to repeat ourselves with each one.
Well, I do want to thank the Select Board for for having us here today and be the first one to address the select board.
Yes, we're official.
Officially.
You are.
We are here tonight as a result of a liquor compliance check that was done by the Foxborough Police Department. Under our guidelines, under the rules and regulations for holders of alcohol beverage licenses in the town of Foxborough on section 2, number 15, the last sentence, it says the police department shall conduct regular compliance checks during the course of the year. This is a requirement. This is, and I just want to be forthcoming, this wasn't a random police act that we decided to tackle. This is something that the town should be doing on a regular basis. COVID definitely put some restrictions on those compliance checks. Our goal on these compliance checks is to ensure that licensees who have licenses are adhering to the regulations that they agreed upon when they received their license. We made every effort to be, well, I'll say a soft landing on the first round. We had a letter drafted to all the license holders. It was hand-delivered by a police officer to every single establishment, explaining to them that we would be coming out and be doing compliance checks within the year. Upon completion of that, and I'll let Lieutenant Fitzgerald dig in a little more about how our policy is enacted. We made it public in the newspaper, social media, that we were coming. So I just want everybody, to the residents of Foxborough, to know that, and to the board, that we're here to enhance and support the business owners, but we also expect them to follow the rules. On this particular summary of events, we have, I believe, 5 separate license holders, and I would like to ask the board if I could give, with Lieutenant Fitzgerald, a summary of not just how we got to this point, but what we did prior to the compliance checks. Is that acceptable?
Give us all the background that you feel is
So
necessary.
within our rules and regulations, we do have a specific policy design that is accepted by the ABCC and in compliance with our regulations as an accredited police department. We have, one of them is an alcohol compliance checks without identification. This is the lesser of the two. We have another one is with an ID, where it gets a little more dynamic and a little more challenging to the license holders. There was no tricks with fake IDs. There was no license pictures sideways. And this particular compliance check, it was with no ID at all. It was the ground ball of compliance checks. So at this point, this is Lieutenant Fitzgerald. He is the administrative lieutenant within the agency. He oversees the detective division, and he works and supervises all the major investigations within that the department receives. He is very well versed in investigations, and he was tasked with putting the team together, getting the policy up, implemented. And he'll explain how he, and it's going to be a summary. The policy is very involved. It's got about 27 different steps that we go through, and I'll let him explain.
Thanks. So, yeah, this was a non-identification check. So basically, let me start with a selection of the 2 young women we used were both students at Bridgewater State. Through their police department, we identified a student intern they had that had a clean school record, no issues, and she recommended another person who had no issues at school, no discipline record. These people have no criminal record. When they come out, we verify that they haven't been drinking prior to arriving at the police department. We verify their identification, make sure they're actually underage. These 2 young ladies are both 20. We take pictures of them. They sign a release. They're basically read this entire policy as if they're operating as an extension of the police department. So we go through this entire policy with them so they're clear on what the rules are. They're searched with a female officer assist to make sure the only thing that the 2 young ladies would have been carrying on the 2 nights in question were their cell phone and currency provided by me from the drug trust fund. So the their basic guidelines are: you go inside, you sit down. Different establishments, but most have a bar. You sit down, you order a drink. If you're asked for ID, it's over. You get up and leave. If you feel the desperate need to be polite, I forgot it in the car, I'll be right back, just leave. If you're not asked for ID, when they get the drink, they're told to, I'd like to cash out, provide the $20 bill. I think in a few cases it was a $10 bill because they had some change, and ask for a receipt if possible. Take the change, don't touch the drink, and leave. The two young ladies were both quite inventive with technology, and they both took pictures of every drink that was served to them, sent them to us. So that's kind of the basis for what their instruction was. And then when they come outside, they report back to one of my detectives who's outside. Was I served? If I was, do I have change? Do I have a receipt? Was I not served? And they just took note, kind of had a scorecard of all the establishments we went to. And then the police officer would make their notes, they'd inform me, we continued on, and an hour or two later, we'd go back and I'd speak to the manager of the individual establishment. So every establishment here had somebody representing themselves as management who I went back and spoke with that night, let them know on that evening what the violation was, when it occurred, showed them the picture, here's the drink, here's what happened. And there's no package stores here, so that's a slightly different thing, so we don't even need to talk about that. That's basically the gist of the overall. This was 2 different evenings, same 2 young ladies, same situation, and at the conclusion of the night, we give them a breath test also to make sure it's still all zeros. They didn't consume anything anywhere that we didn't know about, and that was not an issue. So that's the kind of outline without addressing each individual establishment.
And we also made the effort not to pick a very busy Friday or Saturday night. We selectively picked a Thursday night where we wouldn't really be putting potentially a business at an unfair disadvantage if they are just overwhelmed. We're not about trying to catch you that way. We're trying to catch you the easy way. And so I just want that to be noted also. Yes.
How many establishments did you go to in those 2 days?
We had the number 48 comes to my head.
Yeah, Katie gives us the list, we divide them up, then we break them up into the town, and then we have to make sure that the ones on that night are actually open.
Handful of places we couldn't, for example, the Rodman Center has to be open and have a function with a ticket. Lakeview Pavilion, I think we'd have to throw a wedding or something. A handful of the places like that. Helix needed to have like a gaming event. So a few places we just couldn't get into. They did crash an event at an unnamed country club and didn't get served, but we were able to do that.
And do we plan to go back to some of those, like?
We're gonna try. They're all places that are unique. The movie theater, you need a show ID to even
Right.
go upstairs. Never mind try to get a drink. So, and obviously inside the stadium's a whole nother situation
Yeah,
about
I
getting a
understand they have a
ticket.
whole different rules and ABCC stuff, and
Yeah.
that's regulated differently.
So we're gonna try, but it's gonna require us to be creative to
Okay.
get to some of these places. And a few places were just closed. They just weren't the best. Not the best.
So I think
End
we have,
zone- end zone was just
they're still not open, the end
closed,
zone
got
hasn't
padlock
opened
on the
their
door.
bar in probably a year, so it's under construction. So I think we have about 5 or 6
Okay.
we just couldn't get to.
Any other questions from the board before we kind of move into the first hearing? No? Okay, so with that, any other comments from either of you? That was really helpful, and we do have the reports and we've read them as well.
Yeah, and if you have any questions, just send them our way.
I killed 2 trees. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't. We want to make sure we made copies too.
Yes?
Madam Chair, just before we start the hearing process, we want to swear in any witnesses before that process starts, so it's part of the normal hearing process for this disciplinary process.
Okay, I don't know that we have,
I can do
you do it,
that.
okay, I was gonna say, okay.
I can do that. All right. So you want to call your first violation?
Yes, according to the agenda, it will be.
Yeah, it's
the,
House of
um,
Pizza.
Pizza.
the House of Pizza?
Yeah.
Right, before we
Come
start.
on up to
yeah,
the
come
table.
Come on up, Sam.
Sit right in front of a microphone.
Sam, before you start, you want to just raise your right hand, please? You swear to tell the whole truth and nothing, and the whole truth, swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I swear.
Thank you very much. Been a long time since we've done that, so.
Yeah,
sorry about
I'm glad you were ready for that, so, okay. All right, great. So Sam, thanks for being up first. Okay. So, do you guys want to talk specifically about each one then, as we go through?
I mean, can we agree that prior to entering the establishment, that this was done for every single establishment?
Yes, that's the intent of our discussion in advance, is we're not going to go into, they came and they had no ID. We all understand the background, and then we'll kind of go into each individual scenario or situation, what happened once they were in your establishment and in order to drink.
So I probably should swear in.
I
Okay.
did.
Okay, you all did?
Oh, I did.
Okay, great, okay, great. All right, just want to make sure before you did that. Okay, thank you.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay, so House of Pizza was taken care of on December 15th, about 7:15 PM. Officer Allen accompanied our underage drinker named Caroline to the House of Pizza. Caroline entered, sat at the bar. Officer Allen went inside separately and maintained visual surveillance on her. Caroline ordered a White Claw from the female bartender. The bartender made no effort to check or ask for ID. And it should be noted that the female was unable to pay for the drink because there was a gentleman sitting at the bar that insisted on putting the drink on his tab. So we didn't have a receipt, we didn't have payment. However, service was still made to the underage party without any request for identification. She did take a picture of the drink on the bar, that's in the report. And a few hours later, we returned. Mr. Labib was there, I spoke with him and the female bartender who, if you have the report, you have her name. And that was it, they were polite. She said that she always checks ID and for whatever reason, didn't that evening.
All right, great. So Sam, tell us what happened.
Yeah, Kirish is here too, by the way. The one she has issues, and the issue like it was a busy night for us when he come like very busy night. Plus Joe sit in the bar and Joe asked for the drink for the young lady from Kerry, and Kerry she doesn't realize the girl and she's like the license situation. She's think like she's been here for a while, not the situation because someone else asked for her drink in his tab, This is the issue. She got confused, and she doesn't ask for the ID because she thinks Joe know her because Joe's one of our customer like for almost 3 years when we start to open. We never have issues. We always like have like the same crowd every night. He didn't come to my store every time, like same crowd. We have like mostly like, I don't want to see all the crowd. We have like all the crowd. We close like around 9, 10 o'clock in the night. We have same people like almost every day. It's not like different new people because when Joe asks for the drink, she think like Joe know her. She doesn't know what the story. That's what's going on.
Okay.
And we talk with our staff afterwards what happened. We talk now, we check the ID with almost with everyone. Like we tried do more control, just we did mistake,
Okay.
It's still our mistake. We're not like we didn't do mistake.
Okay, if you have a bunch of regulars, that's probably all the more reason to check
Yeah.
IDs, you get a little bit comfortable. We do have the rules and regulations for holders of alcoholic beverage licenses in the town of Foxborough. That is on our webpage as well. So, we probably will reference various things in here at some point. I imagine all of you have received and read them at this point. So, we'll hear from each of you. We'll ask the board if they have any questions, and then we will take a motion for each of you as a first offense. And again, we haven't done this in a while, so we did ask to go back. No one had any infractions that we saw, as of at least the last 6 years. So according to the final page of the liquor regulations, there is a section that's called sanctions for violations. So I'm sure you've all looked, and just for the board, on the first violation, it's a letter of reprimand and or suspension up to 3 days with an optional closing hours for 10 days. So that's kind of what we're looking at as far as making a decision for each of the folks that are here today, this evening. So with that, we've heard Sam's summary. My first question for you is, are you tips trained?
Yes, I am,
Up
yeah.
to date?
Yes.
Okay.
And all my guys too.
Everyone is tips trained?
Everyone, my guys,
Okay.
yes.
because I realize that there is some ambiguity in the Massachusetts liquor law. However, the town of Foxborough's bylaws supersede that for tips training, and everyone does need to be tips trained. So that is something we will be focusing on more in the future. You'll probably see it in your next renewal. You may have to attest that everyone is. I know, it's a tough business to be in and people come and go, but it is really important that everyone is properly trained, not only to protect, underage people in town, but even to protect, your own business and yourself as the manager on record for each of these liquor licenses. So with that, I probably won't repeat the whole tips thing every time you're all here in the audience shaking your head, but I will probably ask that same question. So any questions from the board? No.
Well, I kind of have a comment. I mean, listen, it's all well known. I've been doing what you guys do for 30 plus years. I can happily say I have never, okay, I just make it a point. I card everybody. And I don't mean everybody. If you come in and you look like you're 45 years old, I may not. But rule of thumb, I would say, at least what any manager that I've worked for has said, I would use 30 to 35 as you're not, do they look like they're 20? And I know the older I get, people look younger and younger. So I feel like I'm carding people and they're 32 or 34. But so what? I carded you. Whether you guys have, I'm just going to say this once rather than to everybody. Some of the establishments where I've worked have had very good records. They're not all in Foxborough, but they've had very good records of not being caught, whether it's without an ID, over-serving, whatever it may be. What I've seen done is that letter goes out. Everywhere I've worked, it will be with our paycheck. I'll notice with our paycheck. It'll be hung, it'll be by our computers. They're coming. Card everybody. So what I would say is, if this is first, I'm not going to say what the board is going to pass down, but yeah, it is your first, if it's your first offense, I would hope we're not going to come down with the highest, punishment, but I just want to say it once. If you do that, most of your employees, like I said, we know that wherever I've worked, it's coming. And usually, well, you guys just did it, usually it's around the holidays. It's when we know the young kids are home from vacation, because that's what you're looking for. But I would just tell your staff, use 30, 32, 35 as a reference, and anybody, and you know what, honest to God, it's your first time, everybody makes a mistake, but it shouldn't happen. It just really shouldn't happen. If you're doing your job and a regular, I don't care, if she's sitting there and a regular, when I'm guessing she ordered it, he offered to pay for it.
She ordered the drink,
but she
he
ordered
offered
it.
to pay. And just for a point of reference, they were given the letter on October 17th at 6:15 p.m. is
Yeah.
when they were served the
Yeah, and I'm not
notification.
trying to be a hard, I'm not gonna say the word on television, but honest to God, it's, I do this profession, I take it serious, and everybody should take it serious. It happens. It happens, but, I would say just do your best so your entire staff knows it is coming, because they've noticed you that we're coming. So there really isn't an excuse, because they're coming out at some point. So, just from my experience, sometimes you have new employees, young employees. I'm a dinosaur, I've been doing it for a long time, but you know what? I don't ever want to be the reason why my establishment, why my boss, who's been nice enough to have me as an employee, has to shut down for 2 days or 3 days. That's a big loss if you
Yeah,
cannot
second
serve.
offense is actually 3 to 10 days, and,
Yeah. So,
there's
yeah.
no going around that. It is what it is.
Yeah. And I'm sure you guys know that. I know I'm probably not saying anything, but, just for people watching, I feel like at least we're doing our due diligence, that's saying this is what we, as the licensing board, this is what we expect you guys to do. So you're not here again.
Yeah, I hope it's not.
Yeah, you guys don't want to be here. We don't want to have you here. Just,
Yeah.
So, especially with the no ID, just ask everyone. I know I volunteered at Xfinity for my daughter's cheer over the summer, got tips trained, learned a lot. I was carding people that were older than me, that, were aggravated, that were the same age as me, so just card everyone. It's harder when it's a fake ID. These are easy ones. So,
Yeah.
Any other comments from the board? No? All right, so with that, having consulted Chief Grace, Lieutenant Fitzgerald, as well as Pat Costello, our counsel. The recommendation that I'm going to make is for the motion to issue the letter of reprimand for Foxborough House of Pizza, so I think we're ready for a motion.
Motion to issue a letter of reprimand to Foxborough House of Pizza for their violation of ABCC Regulation 204 CMR 2.052 by allowing an illegality to take place in the licensed premises by having an employee violate Mass General Law 138, Section 34, selling alcohol to a minor and failure to ask for an ID.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, well, not discussion, one more point if I could.
Yeah, of
And I
course.
hope now that COVID's over, this does become back into a regular
Oh, it's back.
cycle.
Yes,
Good.
back.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, great. So all those in favor?
Aye.
And just before you go, we do have the meeting Thursday night for the Uptown stakeholders. We need you there. We need to talk dumpsters,
Yeah,
so make
okay.
sure you're there. Okay?
I know this one.
All right, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, Sam.
Thanks. All right, up next, Jake and Joe's. No hiding, you guys. We can see it on your shirt. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing. Lieutenant Fitzgerald's gonna let us know what's in the report, which we do have and we've read. I assume you've read it as well. We'll discuss, see if there's any questions, and then take a motion.
Okay, so, start correctly, Jake and Joe's was served, the letter also on October 17th at 5:45 PM. So, their compliance check was on December 15th, and this was about 6:55 PM. Detective Alberts accompanied a young lady named Sarah to Jake and Joe's. She sat and entered the bar. She ordered a White Claw from a female bartender who made no effort to check or ask for ID. She cashed out and paid the tab with a $20 bill. The tab was $6.96, and she was provided with $13 change. Jake and Joe's does have 4 cents of my funds. Once the change was provided, she left the establishment. While she was waiting for her change, she did take a picture of the drink in the bar and had the young lady in the background. A few hours later, I returned to Jake and Joe's. The female bartender was not there. We spoke with Mr. Carrero, and he was able to get the records and look at a picture and identify who she was as a employee. And they informed me that they check every ID and run them through a scanner. And I did let him know that she had no form of ID on her that could have possibly been scanned.
And from what I understand, someone at a table next door even was served without being carded. Obviously, they weren't part of the operation, but, just an observation as well. Just making sure to note that since it is in our report as well. So, we'll hear from you.
Well, as far as the,
Can you introduce yourselves,
oh, yeah.
please?
So, I'm Jeff Reddington. I'm the manager on record for.
Oh, we need to swear you in, sorry.
Raise your right hand. Swear to tell the whole truth.
Yep.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, my name's Jeff Reddington. I'm the manager on record at Jake and Joe's, and this is Frank Rhodes, my director of operations. It's a
Pleasure to meet you.
So neither of you are the ones in the report. You're not the manager. You're not on the liquor license.
I'm not. I'm here. I'm his direct supervisor. So
I am on the liquor license.
Okay, but Mr. Carrero
Was the manager on duty.
on duty. Okay, gotcha.
So as far as the bartender, not carding the young lady, that was a complete lapse in judgment on her end. When it was, when I received the information she hadn't carded the young lady, I was shocked. This bartender has been a senior bartender for us, worked through COVID. She's notorious for carding anyone that comes through the door using that scanner. A week prior, she refused service to someone who was in their late 30s because they didn't even have their ID on them. So this behavior, I was astonished by. So we dealt with it swiftly. We
suspended the young lady for a week, which obviously hurt her income. She had to retip certify, which she was certified, but she had to retip certify as a course of action because it's not an acceptable behavior. At the end of the day, we failed to do our job. Period. There's no sugarcoating that.
Right.
So
Exactly.
at the end of the day, the entire Foxborough team is tip certified. We've readdressed the entire Jake and Joe's group as a whole as part of this. and nobody hits the floor after training without tip certification, period. There's no gray area.
Okay. And that's our rules as well, so we,
Yep.
you know, we appreciate that. So any questions from the board on this one?
Just a comment, I mean, I've seen that happen as well. I mean, and you know something, most people, if you get hurt in the pocketbook like that, it'll probably, and one of the places I worked, it was a manager that got caught in the sting. A manager, that, he worked some bar shifts too, and so it does, it happens, and, nobody is perfect, but I feel bad for your server, but I think the action you took is commendable, because you're taking responsibility, and it happens, and you're a good business. It just it happens. So thank you for taking it so seriously and at least acting the way you do. And I bet you she doesn't ever do it again.
No, and we appreciate you saying that, but at the end of the day, we did warn our team. At the end, they know. This information was out there. The Foxborough Police Department gave us ample time. This is your job. This is what you chose to do, like you said, Stephanie.
Yeah.
Seth, you had your hand up as well.
I just had a question about the other incident that is mentioned here. So somebody who had an appearance of being college age, maybe 21, ordered a beer without presenting ID. So that was the same night, but a different person?
Right. I didn't hear any further information about this, but what I would guess is that it was someone that came from a different location of the restaurant that had been served already.
Do you want to talk?
When I went back to speak to the manager, there was a group of younger guys in their 20s sitting at a table, and another young, I'd call him college age, I'm getting older too, but he was definitely under 30, walks in, kind of high fives an employee, a younger male employee, says, "Bud," sits down, and what was presumably a Bud draft was brought right over to him. And I pointed out to Mr. Carrera, I said, "That guy just ordered a beer without being carded. Well, the police are standing right here." And
Oh, you were in uniform during that as well?
we had badges out.
Yeah, okay.
So, and he didn't really seem to have much of an adequate response. It was just kind of shocked that it happened while we were literally 8 feet away,
So I would say that's the result of the staff knowing this guest that had entered the building. They still should have been asked for identification though.
Need your ID, I need a drink
Yeah.
in Massachusetts, so.
But can I just ask a question? And by no means am I going to stick up for you guys, but I know the business pretty well. Could this have been a patron that, so if you know somebody's of age, do you still have to card them?
Massachusetts?
Yes.
Oh, okay, okay.
I would, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
You have to
No,
have
no,
your
I just wasn't sure, because like, if I have
You
somebody
have
that's
to
come
card
in.
them or be responsible for the violation.
There we go.
Yeah, right,
Okay, okay.
That's the difference.
Yeah. So, I mean, what
But
I
if
would
they're
say here,
underage,
like I
it's
said,
different.
I'm not sticking up for you guys, but I think unless we found out that that person was underage, there's no violation there.
The point of
It's the perception
Just
you saw.
anecdotal.
the
Yeah,
perception,
yeah.
and I had just been told we card everyone and scan every ID, and I said, no, you don't.
Yeah.
But what is
Yeah.
that?
Exactly.
So that is or is not a violation?
No, because that person, we
We
don't-
didn't
yeah.
go, we
But they
didn't
were
want
not
to,
asked for an identification?
yeah, we didn't go interject ourselves and ruin their
Sure.
night
Yeah.
but we just pointed it out like, hey, we're here and people aren't being carded, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so whether it is a violation or not, which I still, because they didn't ask for an ID, so I thought that was the,
Yeah, but the problem is, so
They may
if
have had
if you
it
come in
and
and
would-
sit at my bar, and I card you, and you come in every night, and I've carded you and carded you and carded you, and I've looked at your ID, and I know you're 27, if I didn't card you, if you were underage, I would think that's the violation. But I get what you're saying, the perception, you were standing right there, but I just wouldn't, my
the letter
point
of the
is,
law, though, you need to have your ID, so what, by you
But if-
knowing someone's 27 and they don't have their ID,
the violation doesn't occur unless you've served a minor.
In they're a minor, yeah, they have to be a
Yeah,
minor. So
they
if
have to be
you
a
go
minor.
walk in somewhere and sit
Yeah.
down and, they think you look
Yeah.
older, no violation has occurred, you're not a minor who's being served.
this person was served, Budweiser guy was served.
But we don't know if he was a minor, so it's just more of an observation than,
If he's a regular customer, and I've carded him 15 times, and I know he's 27,
You don't need to have a license to drink in the
no.
bar.
No, it's
I
not.
thought we just heard that you did need to have a license to drink in the bar.
You need to be
To be-
21.
You need to be 21.
Need to be
Oh,
21.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Got it, sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
A little slow, thank you.
Yeah.
The statute outlines what forms of IDs, if you ask for them, that essentially protects you.
Oh,
if There
okay.
is a violation. Anything outside of that scope kind of puts you in the hot seat a little.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff. And the new thing is kids come in and they want to show you their ID on their phone because they don't want to carry it. And I'm like, I can't look at your
Yeah,
ID on
we
your
haven't
phone.
adopted
But
that law
But
yet.
that's what they're doing now too. You know, and they think it's okay because they can show you on their phone.
So was this a different bartender or the same bartender that,
Different.
different? And was that person
Server, not
spoken
Yeah, I
to?
don't,
or-
yeah, I just don't want to get too hung up on that one too, since it's not the violation, it's more of an observation than a violation. It's still anecdotally, you know?
Yeah, and I don't want to go down that path either. It might be an.
We're gonna bring it to our team, regardless, it will be brought to our team, and
Yeah, that's the only thing I
Will be
was saying.
addressed
is It
immediately.
starts with management, and if managers are really strong on the policy, it trickles down, and everyone is very clear, that's what I think will work.
Each computer in our restaurant has a label, says anyone under 35, appears under 35 must be carded. So that's the
practice.
policy that we have in place.
Good.
All right, great. So I'm going to recommend a letter of reprimand as consulting this, as I said, with Chief Grace and our council as well.
Motion. Motion to issue a letter of reprimand to Jake and Joe's for their violation of ABCC Regulation 204 CMR 2.05, paren 2, by allowing an illegality to take place on the licensed premises by having an employee violate Mass General Law 138-34, selling alcohol to a minor and failure to ask for an ID.
second.
Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor? We hope to not see you back again.
Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you.
Apologize.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we have My Pearl. And just so I don't forget to swear you in, if you can tell us your name, and then Bill will immediately swear both of you in.
All right. My name is Christian Boakers. I'm counsel out of Braintree Levinson, Seekonk, Massachusetts, and I'm here on behalf of My Pearl and the manager of record and owner, Jean Marr.
Jean Marr.
Okay, you can raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, great. So with that, I think you've been in the audience and heard the other ones. If you can let us know about that evening, we'll see if we have any questions for you. We'll then take a recommendation, a motion, and go from there.
Thank you. I think Chairman McGowan hit everything tooth on the nail, as well as the chief and lieutenants. That night, I believe it was a Thursday, November 10th, if I recall correctly from the report. It was at first a slow night, but then things picked up, and the sting operation occurred when things got a little more hectic. I believe it was just Miss Marr and the bartender, Peter May, that were serving that night, or attending the customers. As everybody knows, in COVID, it's been hard to find employees from retail, the restaurants, to even law firms and doctors' offices. So it was a little overwhelming. Peter May was the bartender who served, I believe her name was Sarah. And to backstep a little bit, my client did receive the letter. Her staff was informed of it. However, Mr. May made a mistake, and I think the report captures that pretty eloquently from the lieutenant, as Peter was, upset when he realized what he had done and the mistake he had made, and the report captures that quite well. I spoke to my client. Obviously, with this type of operation and the statute, there are no defenses. There's no safe harbor when an ID hasn't been provided, such as here. That being said, my client's position isn't to dig her heels in. She's apologetic. I spoke with her. She's a mother. She has 3 kids. She understands the intent of the legislation for why the department's able to do something like this and to try to keep restaurants intact, which is to help protect the minors in the state. And she's appreciative of that. Unfortunately, a mistake happened. However, she apologizes. She has the notice up on the wall next to the bar. Her staff is made aware of it. I believe she has one other part-time server working right now. And, obviously intends not to have this happen again. And moreover, made sure everybody was up to date with their tip certifications as well following this matter to ensure this doesn't happen again.
And I was so eager to get them sworn in that I skipped over you giving your intro. So is there anything else that you wanted to add to
No,
that?
it's November 10th, 6:27 PM. The young lady, Sarah, who was working with us, went inside. Detective Albert stayed outside because he recognized some local people inside at the bar. He monitored her. She ordered a White Claw. The bartender informed her he didn't have that, so she got a vodka cranberry, which he provided, didn't ask for ID. She took a picture of the drink with the bartender in the background. And when we went back later, he was there. We confronted him, explained it, and counsel mentioned, when I spoke with Ms. Mars, she called him over. I showed him the picture, and he simply said no, and kind of ran off, went back to work. So hopefully he is aware.
So, through the chair, if I could. So you interpreted the no as that he was remorseful. I came away reading that he was.
Like, no, like.
Right,
and-
no, it just
wasn't
scurried
me.
off. It's like, so I showed her the picture and said, this is him, there's the drink. And she was very apologetic. She knew, she acknowledged she got the letter. The letter was delivered on, we had to make 3 attempts. They were closed on the 17th and 18th. The letter was delivered on the 19th at 1 in the afternoon.
I mean, Lieutenant, when I read that, I saw it as frustrative. No, I made a mistake. That was my interpretation when I read it. Obviously, I wasn't there, and Lieutenant.
Well, it says, and
can
walked
take-
briskly back to the bar. Like, so we have him here. We kind of know what happened. I think that's kind of the disappointing one in this. And I know you said everyone's tip trained now, but, acknowledging there have been some staffing trained, was your tips certification up to date prior to this? Was his tip certification up to date? I know that you're up to date now, but you understand that even your part-time server, everyone needs to have this and be current.
Yes.
Yeah.
So everybody is tip certified.
Yes.
Is the part-time server?
She left.
Oh, okay. So then, yes.
But she shouldn't have been, even,
Yeah.
if you say she left, it's not that yes, and she left.
But she was not working that night. I did not hire her yet. And then she only come work for the Christmas and the New Year. And then she leave.
But she can't work for Christmas and New Year unless she's tip certified. So everyone that needs to comes in your door that's hired, that has to happen before they hit the floor and are ready to, take drink orders, work behind the bar, waitress if that involves serving drinks as well.
So I think that's very clear. Yeah.
I don't know if I misheard you or not, but I thought you characterized this briefly as a sting.
Well,
And I think that's kind of the wrong message, because a sting, you don't have the prior warning, you don't have the police department going out of their way to tell people this is coming. So it's all about developing this culture, where it's not a sting. It can happen anytime, and just don't let it happen to you, because it's not who we are. So I just reacted to the
I apologize, Ms.
sting language.
characterizing that.
Yeah.
Maybe I grew up in LA, so maybe I'm just growing up with, language that I learned when I was out there in the city. So I do apologize for that. And I don't mean that negatively towards Foxborough or the department, as myself and my colleagues at my firm work quite often with local law enforcement in Bristol County. So I did not mean that in a negative connotation whatsoever.
And unfortunately, if you asked anybody in the business, they would refer to that as a sting. Nobody says there's an alcohol compliance check coming. We're told there will be a sting. So, to your point, I mean, that's just in the business, and no, no one thinks that the police are, obviously, they've been sent that out, but unfortunately, that's how it's referred to in the business.
There was no malintent in that term.
But if you were under the impression that he was saying no, like he was disappointed in himself, that's not the perception I'm getting today. So having a somewhat flippant reaction like that, or, gives the impression that you're not taking it seriously or that you're kind of annoyed by something like this. So, that's really critical training going forward, I think is, people make mistakes, but your reaction to it can compound it and make it worse than, having a discussion with the police who are there, to do so.
Yes, and on that note, my client will, talk to her staff. As far as my conversation with my clients, from what I can say outside of attorney-client privilege, is that she feels absolutely terrible about this happening. She wouldn't want that to happen to her kids, and she's going to make sure that this doesn't happen again at her establishment.
Okay. Any other questions, comments from the board?
Just a question, this is the first violation?
First violation for everyone.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're all on the same foundation.
Okay.
All right, so I am going to make a recommendation again, in consulting with the chief and council, that we make a letter of reprimand to My Pearl. So I think we're ready for a motion.
Good. Motion to issue a letter of reprimand to My Pearl for their violation of ABCC Regulation 204 CMR 2.05(2) by allowing an illegality to take place in the licensed premises by having an employee violate Mass General Law 138, Section 34, selling alcohol to a minor and failure to ask for ID.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
And again, we hope to not see you again, so, these will be continuing, so.
Under these circumstances.
Yes, under these circumstances, of course.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, members of the board.
Thank you.
Thank you, officers.
Thank you.
All right. Up next, we have Renaiissance, we have Saga, Hibachi Steakhouse. So, you can come up, introduce yourselves. We'll have Bill swear you in, and then we'll go to Lieutenant Fitzgerald.
Good evening. Mark Stopa from Stopa and Associates on behalf of Saga Hibachi Steakhouse. Just stand up. You can.
My name is Steven. I'm owner, manager.
Owner and manager on record for the liquor license.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, would you like to raise your right hand, please? Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
You don't need to, he doesn't need to be sworn in?
Officer of the court.
Oh, he's officer of the court.
Officer of the court.
All right, so we'll turn it over to Lieutenant Fitzgerald to give us kind of the stats and details about this one, and then we'll hear from you and your client.
Saga was served the notice on October 17th, about 4:45 p.m. This was 7 p.m. Officer Allen accompanied young lady Caroline to Saga. She entered and sat at the bar. Officer Allen remained outside and was able to keep surveillance of her through the window. Caroline ordered a White Claw, which was provided to her with no ID by the male bartender, then cashed her out for the $6.40 drink. While waiting for her change, she took a picture of the drink with the bartender in the background. She took the change, came outside, and reported back to us. A few hours later, we returned to Saga, and the bartender was identified as a Mr. Kwong, and the manager, Annie Chen, who I don't believe is here. It was explained to them what happened, and they both were polite and cooperative.
Okay, great. So neither party that were there that evening
Actually,
are
Annie
here.
Chen is here tonight.
Okay, great. And you're the manager on record for the license?
Correct.
Okay, great. Thank you for helping set the stage.
Thank you. Yeah, obviously, it's the same story in all these cases, and the unfortunate part of it is it's the human condition, right? These folks know that anybody who doesn't look like they're over 30 gets carded. I mean, that's the way they operate their business. The bartender in question is an older guy who's experienced, and he's the only bartender there, and he just flat out knows better. And I think that his response that evening was understanding, apologetic, and professional. And my clients have, both Stephen and Annie, have talked to him since. They've talked to the rest of the staff since. They were requiring the bartender to go through retraining. They already did a retraining through ServSafe, but I've also suggested that tips is probably a better.
I think ServSafe is just as acceptable, so they can do
Okay,
tips
so if
or
that's
ServSafe?
acceptable, yeah, that's something
Yeah.
that they're familiar with, so that's fine. But they've already made him go through that retraining, and like I said, he knows better, And they operate their business in a fashion where this shouldn't be an issue, by way of explanation but not excuse. They had people call out that night, and they were running around like their heads were cut off because they just didn't have enough people to do what they needed to do. Again, not an excuse, but by explanation. I guess that's what causes that human condition to rise to the surface, and a mistake gets made.
Okay, great. And while he's the only bartender, you obviously have waiters and waitresses.
We have
who-
servers, yes, and they know that everybody has to be certified.
And are they is every single server certified?
I think ServSafe, yes.
Okay, serve
Yeah.
safe, okay. All right. Any other comments, questions from the board on this one? I think you've kind of heard us on our soapbox.
Yeah, understand
About
completely.
everything and the seriousness of it as well. So with that, I will make the same recommendation for a letter of reprimand.
Motion to issue a letter of reprimand to Saga Hibachi Steakhouse for a violation of ABCC Regulation 204 CMR 2.05(2) by allowing an illegality to take place in the licensed premises by having an employee violate Mass General Law 138, Section 34, selling alcohol to a minor and failure to ask for ID.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you, appreciate.
All right, thank you. And then up last, we went out of alphabetical order because you guys had the change of manager, so.
Thank you.
Just to give you guys a little bit of understanding why we did that. We wanted to separate the change of manager from the alcohol hearing. So we do have 2 agenda items for you this evening. So again, if we can start by introducing yourselves, we'll have Bill swear you in, and then we'll go over to Lieutenant.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. My name is John Aida McDermott Quilton Miller, located at 28 State Street, Boston. I'm counsel for Colon Management, Inc., doing business as the Renaissance Hotel. This is Ken Levine.
Ken Levine, currently at the Renaissance, Boston Patriot Place, and general manager.
Okay, and are you the person on the liquor license? I know it's
I'm not.
probably, you're not, okay.
That's-
And, okay,
That's up next, so,
okay.
yeah.
Do you want to just stand so I can swear you in?
Yep.
Raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? It only took
Getting
me
better at
5
that,
tries, I got it
yeah.
down, but a 5th try. I'm a little out of practice on that one, sorry about that.
So the Renaissance was served on October 17th at 4:40 PM, the letter. And this was back on November 10th. This was again Officer Allen and the young lady Caroline, Patriot Place. Caroline went in, ordered a White Claw from the female bartender. They didn't have White Claw. The bartender conversely offered her a Bud Light Seltzer, which she accepted. That was delivered, never asking for ID. She cashed out. The drink was $9. She brought the $11 out to Officer Allen. I actually was present for that one, walked inside and saw it. I returned later and I spoke with the bartender, Sonia Brown, and Norman Demers, who he explained to me he wasn't a manager, but was still on the liquor license. It was some sort of job transition, but he was the responsible, I guess, manager that evening. And we had a little bit of a discussion there because the bartender did try to tell me it was busy, and there were 3 people in the entire place. So we worked through that, and she seemed very apologetic. They were both very nice, but that's about it.
So thank you, Lieutenant Fitzgerald and Chief Grace, for your earlier presentation. So we're not here to dispute any of the facts as presented. And the reason why neither one of those individuals are here, so Mr. Demers was the manager of record. He actually recently retired, actually at the beginning of this year, just a few weeks ago. And the server in question, she was immediately talked to by Mr. Levine and Mr. Demers on 2 separate occasions. She was suspended from her position. And as it turned out, the following day, they actually had a recertification course on site for the entire staff for tips training. The server did attend, and then she offered her resignation following. She was just too embarrassed and upset about what had happened. It's obviously not an ideal situation. We like to give everyone an opportunity and correct mistakes. They do have a 0 tolerance policy, but they certainly don't start by firing the individual. It would be by suspension. So she was immediately suspended, and that individual is no longer with the hotel. But in any event, it's not an excusable offense, should not have happened. I know there's a statement in it saying that she was busy, she felt bad and wanted to, hurry up, and it seemed like she rushed through the process instead of actually doing her job, which was asking for the ID. All staff are tip certified and trained. As I stated, not only do they do recertifications on site, they also have their own internal compliance checks occasionally throughout the year. And they have an exemplary record throughout the state. They hold 19 other licenses in Massachusetts, and they do a really good job. So this is very unfortunate. Mr. Levine is the new general manager here, and you'll hear, coming up next, he will be now the manager of record in charge of the alcohol service as well in the servers. So not excused, should not have happened, certainly admit that it did happen, and we're just asking that based on their past track record and obviously any statements that Mr. Levine might want to say to kind of, reiterate what was done, what is going to be done to kind of make you guys at ease as well, that they're going to stay in compliance and not be in front of the board again. So I'll turn it over to Mr. Levine.
Yeah, so as John mentioned, all that was all accurate. And it was unfortunate for one of our career bartenders. She's been bartending her whole career. She was definitely more embarrassed than anything that she made a mistake. So, during the time that I was investigating the situation, she just decided that she didn't want to return. So that was unfortunate. But we do, once again, tip certification is, it's mandatory, right? So we have over 32 tipped associates currently on property. We deal with a lot of volume, and we train and retrain. We did receive the letter, and we did talk about the letter. And we talked about it stand-up prior to service. I think that, just like I said, at this particular situation, she just walked in and she saw somebody at the table, she walked over and she didn't do her job, so.
All right, any questions from the board on this one? All right, my recommendation, again, will be the same in consulting the chief and council, that we issue a letter of reprimand on this one.
Motion to issue a letter of reprimand to Renaiissance Hotel at Patriot Place for the violation of ABCC Regulation 204 CMR 2.05(2) by allowing an illegality to take place in the licensed premises by having an employee violate Mass General Law 138, Section 34, selling alcohol to a minor and failure to ask for ID.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? All right, great. So up next, we have the change of manager. It'll probably be a little easier because we've already gone through some of the stuff we normally would ask about on a change of manager, so.
Yeah, if you want, I can try to go through it quickly.
Yeah, if you don't mind just going through it, but we know you're tip certified, all
So,
that.
Mr. Levine's been in the industry for 30 years now, in the hospitality industry. Prior to joining Cohen in the end of 2022, he was with Marriott International, and has probably been in every position, I think he'd tell you, over the course of 30 years, but certainly has extensive experience in the food and beverage aspects of that, as well as the management. So he is now the general manager of this hotel. He will be overseeing the alcohol service. He's reviewed and is familiar with the rules and regulations of this board, the ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth as it pertains to the sale and service of alcohol. He's also a United States citizen and over 21, so he's certainly qualified by all the statutory requirements.
Just a little bit.
And I think his experience is going to be very helpful here. He was obviously got his feet wet on this one, just jumping into this last issue and violation. So he already had experience, dealing with that. And I know he meets regularly with the staff to go and review the policies as well, and will continue to do so. But Ken, why don't you just kind of introduce yourself, as you're going to be kind of the face and the go-to person at the hotel.
So Ken Levine, resident of Mansfield here, neighboring town. I've been involved in food and beverage my entire career, so from culinary through restaurants. So I came up through culinary to start, and then into restaurants, hold a hotel management degree. I kind of stuck with it. 30 years later, I worked at 9 different hotels with Marriott International, mostly in Boston, down to Newport, Rhode Island. So I'm very familiar with all the laws and regulations as it pertains to serving alcohol. And I've been pretty much in charge, without having my name on a liquor license, that throughout those years. So here I find myself in this situation with Colwyn Hotels, and great opportunity to be a part of the Renaiissance, Hilton Garden Inn, the beverage service, and training our teams and developing them to properly serve.
All right, great. All right, and this is for both the Renaissance and the Hilton Garden Inn. There's a bar at each, I've been in the Renaissance, I haven't been in the Hilton Garden Inn.
So there's 8 seats.
Okay.
So we had the bars open when occupancy permits, right?
Okay.
And then we oversee the food and beverage of the banquet space that they have.
Okay,
So that's our staff working together because it's the same company.
okay, you'll be on record for both
Yes,
licenses,
yes.
they are
Yeah,
separate licenses.
there's one license,
Oh,
but
there's
I
one
think
license,
it's
okay.
one license that covers both properties,
Okay.
28 and 26, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, 26 and 28, right.
Okay. Certainly seem qualified, you've been there, you're gonna be on property, you're not just, a name going on it, so I don't have any further questions. Anyone else? Nope. All right, fresh start.
Fresh start.
Okay.
Here we go.
All right, great.
Okay, motion to approve a change of manager by Colwyn Management, Inc., doing business as Renaissance Hotel at Patriot Place and Hilton Garden Inn, from Norm Demers to Kenneth Levine.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, great,
Appreciate it.
thank you.
Can the chief go?
Oh, of course.
I was just waiting, I didn't want to walk out in the middle.
All right.
All right.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, so following on the theme of mistakes, we had an open meeting law violation complaint.
Dismissed.
So we make mistakes as well. We actually received an open meeting law complaint from a gentleman who seems, the address comes from out of state, it doesn't matter. On his website, it looks like he kind of looks at open meeting law compliance. And I know I learned something new here. So it was a complaint from our meeting on December 20th of 2022 that we did not state that our meeting was being recorded and televised. You may hear I said it twice this evening. Now we know. Honestly, I thought it had to be printed on the agenda and we were covered with that, but it is something that we should be saying at the start of every meeting. So we are addressing that. And then second, and a tad bit more painful, is the second part of the complaint was that we did not list and read the name of every alcohol, common vitular, entertainment license when we did our license renewals on December 20th. So in order to remedy that, the suggestion this evening from our counsel, we've talked with him and also issued a letter back out to the complainant, that we need to read the name of every business that we issued a license to, and obviously we'll be mentioning that meetings are recorded. So it is a 7-page list. We're gonna hit this as a team.
And the type of license that's being issued.
And the type of,
It's all in here, yep, it's all in here.
all here.
So with that, we first just need a motion, and then we're gonna start with Doc, has page 1. We'll see who's with us at the end here. So going forward, though, I think next year, we'll see if we have to read it all again, or if attaching it to the agenda is right, but we'll make sure Katie will keep us on
It has to
track.
be in the record, so.
Has to be in the record. So if we attach it to the back of the agenda next year, we should not have to read every licensee.
Not sure about that, we should.
We don't think, but
Okay.
we're
We'll
aware.
confirm it. We'll
Katie's
We're gonna
Katie's
get it
be-
right next
Katie's
time.
gonna be all over it,
What
so.
would a city do? Read like 50 pages of stuff, or you kidding me?
Unfortunately, that's the way it is.
And also, Christina did send a note out to every board too that does televise, just, letting them know what we found out and what we discovered, that we do have, the statute is a little vague. It says, it almost makes it sound like it's people that are in the audience if they're recording, but then at the end, it does mention something about the meeting. So to be safe, we're gonna go ahead and do that, and we've acknowledged that with every board too going forward, to know that it's something they have to do, so.
Seth, in some cases, just to get back to your point, it's a fair point, but in many cases, in city situations where they have a lot of licenses, they actually have a separate licensing board, whereas you are the licensing board in this case.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so Doc's gonna start it off, and we're gonna go,
I thought you said we had a motion.
we do have a motion first, I'm sorry, yes, Dennis, if you can
I
make the
don't see a
motion.
motion here.
You can so move me. If I motion to reaffirm the action taken on December 20th to approve the following licenses and licensees.
Second.
So moved.
No, so moved.
So moved.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? So let's just read them all and then we'll take our vote.
All right, I get to go first. 99 Restaurants of Boston doing business as 99 Restaurant and Pub, 4 Fisher Street, approved for a common victualler, all alcohol, and a 7-day entertainment license. Sol Tuckerias, Inc., doing business as Acalitos Tuckeria at 265 Patriots Place, approved for a common victualler and a 7-day entertainment license. Antonia's International Foods Incorporated, doing business as Antonia's International Foods at 369 Central Street, approved for a common victualler's license. Colo Group LLC, doing business as Ban Mi Oi at 8 Wall Street, approved for a common victualler's license. Sutikul Corporation, doing business as Bangkok Cafe at 10 Foxborough Boulevard, approved for a common victualler's license, all day and 7-day all alcohol and a 7-day entertainment license. BLH Acquisition Company LLC, doing business as Bar Louie Tavern and Grill at 232 Patriot Place, approved for a common victualler, all alcohol, and 7-day entertainment, and an annual Sunday entertainment license. Olson Restaurant Group LLC, doing business as Capriotti's at 267 Patriots Place, approved for a common victualler's license. CBS Scene, doing business as CBS Sporting Club at 200 Patriot Place, approved for a common victualler, all alcohol, and 7-day entertainment license. One More Time LLC, doing business as Chicky Flynn's at 94 Washington Street, approved for a common victualler, all-day alcohol, and 7-day entertainment license. Better Foods LLC, doing business as Citizens Crust at 229 Patriots Place, approved for a common victualler, all-day alcohol, and 7-day entertainment license. Agria LLC, doing business as The Commons Eatery and Cafe at 20 Central Street, approved for a common victualler's license. Foxborough, doing business as Conrad's Restaurant at 121 Main Street, approved for a common victualler, all alcohol, and 7-day entertainment license. Foxborough Country Store, Inc., doing business as The Country Store at 212 North Street, approved for a wine and malt package store license. Crazy Axes, Foxborough LLC, doing business as Crazy Axes at 202 Patriots Place, Foxborough, for a common victualler, all alcohol, and 7-day entertainment license.
Cupcake Charlie's LLC, doing business as Cupcake Charlie's at 262 Patriot Place, approved for a common victualler license. Curry Leaf LLC, doing business as Curry Leaf at 29 Washington Street, approved for a common victualler and 7-day entertainment license. George Pappas, doing business as Dairy Queen at 122 Main Street, approved for a common victualler license. One Patriot Place LLC, doing business as Davio's Northern Italian Steakhouse at 36 Patriot Place, approved for a common victualler, all alcohol, 7-day entertainment, and annual Sunday entertainment license. Foxborough Donuts, Inc., doing business as Dunkin' Donuts at 16 Washington Street, approved for a common victualler license. Patriots Coffee LLC, doing business as Dunkin' Donuts, number 347500 at 30 Commercial Street, approved for a common victualler license. Patriots Coffee LLC, doing business as Dunkin' Donuts, PP number 346476 at 221 Patriot Place, approved for a common victualler license. Patriots Coffee LLC, doing business as Dunkin' Donuts, number 336241 at 263 Main Street, approved for a common victualler license. FT Donuts, Inc., doing business as Dunkin' Donuts / Baskin Robbins at 127 Main Street, approved for a common victualler license. Everything Bagel, Inc., doing business as Everything Bagel at 211 North Street, approved for a common victualler license. 190 Octane Patriot Place LLC, doing business as Fat Tuesday at 26 Patriot Place, approved for a common victualler, all alcohol, and 7-day entertainment license. 5 Gay Five Guys Properties LLC, doing business as Five Guys Burgers and Fries, number 374, 269 Patriot Place, approved for a common victual license. MGPK, doing business as Foxborough House of Pizza at 34 Central Street, approved for a common victual all alcohol 7-day entertainment license. Asian Fifan Restaurant, Inc., doing business as Foxborough Mandarin at 369 Central Street, approved for a common victual all alcohol and 7-day entertainment license. Modern Nutrition LLC, doing business as Foxborough Nutrition at 50 Central Street, approved for a common victual license. Foxborough Realty Associates LLC, doing business as Foxborough Realty Associates at 1 Patriot Place, approved for a common victualler 7-day entertainment and annual Sunday entertainment license. ESG Associates, Inc., doing business as Foxborough Sports Center at 10 East Belcher Road, approved for a 7-day entertainment license. And Foxborough Sports Center at 10 East Belcher Road, approved for a common victual license.
Flew through those, Dennis. Okay, I've got 2 pages if it feels a little longer. All right, Foxborough VFW Post 2626, DBA Foxborough VFW Post 2626 at 337 Cocasset Street, approved from a common vic, club all alcohol 7-day and annual Sunday entertainment, as well as 2 pool table licenses. Yugveer Inc., doing business as Foxborough Wine and Spirits at 14 South Street, approved for an all alcohol package store license. Foxborough Country Club, doing business as Foxborough Country Club at 33 Walnut Street, approved for a common vic, club all alcohol and 7-day entertainment license. Angus Corp., doing business as Fusion Bar with 61 rooms, America's Best Value Inn pool table at 105 Washington Street, approved for common vic in holder, all alcohol, 7-day entertainment and annual Sunday entertainment license. NPS LLC, doing business as Gillette Stadium at 1 Patriot Place for common vic, all alcohol, 7-day entertainment, and annual Sunday entertainment license. Gulf Resources, doing business as Gulf at 20 Washington Street, approved for a wine and malt liquor store license. Rainbow Bagel, DBA Gunther Tooties at 42 Central Street, approved for a common vic license. Forbes Crossing Hospitality, DBA Hampton Inn and Suites at 2 Washington Boulevard, approved for a common vic, wine and malt package store and 7-day entertainment license. House Sushi LLC at 70 Central Street, approved for a common vic, wine and malt and 7-day entertainment license. Helix Foxborough LLC, DBA Helix Esports at 23 Patriot Place, approved for a common vic, all alcohol, 7-day entertainment and annual Sunday entertainment license. Smiley Stores LLC, DBA Hops and Grapes Variety Store at 30 Commercial Street, approved for an all alcohol package store license. Grand Slam Restaurants, Foxborough LLC, DBA Jake and Joe's at 25 Foxborough Boulevard, approved for a common vic, all alcohol and 7-day entertainment license. Rest Corps of Lafayette House, DBA Lafayette House at 109 Washington Street, approved for a common vic, all alcohol, 7-day entertainment and annual Sunday entertainment license. Steve's Lakeview, DBA Lakeview Pavilion at 45 Lakeview Road, approved for a common vic, all alcohol, 7-day entertainment, annual Sunday entertainment and dance hall license. PJM Food Inc., DBA Lovely Pizza at 6 Railroad Ave / Bird Street, approved for a common vic license. P&D Management / McDonald's, DBA McDonald's at 212 North Street, approved for a common vic license. Harvest Group, DBA My Pearl at 121 Main Street, approved for a common vic, all alcohol and 7-day entertainment license. Linen Zoo Inc., DBA Mandarin Chef at 34 Mechanic Street, approved for a common vic license. New England Frozen Ventures / George Cavis, I'm going to butcher that, doing business as Menchie's at Patriot Place, 268 Patriot Place, approved for a common vic license. EAD Entertainment, DBA Muse Paint Bar at 217 Patriot Place, approved for a common vic wine and malts license. Normandy Farms Campground, LLC, DBA Normandy Farms Campground at 72 West Street, approved for a common vic wine and malt package store, 7-day entertainment, annual Sunday entertainment, automatic amusement, arcade, and movie theater license. Nearvy Inc., DBA Olive and Mint / Ambrosia at 2 Washington Street, approved for a common vic, all alcohol and 7-day entertainment license. GMRI Inc., DBA Olive Garden, number 1808 at 392 Patriot Place, approved for a common vic, all alcohol, 7-day entertainment license. Zephyrius Kuntalis doing business at DBA Omega Pizza at 126 Main Street, approved for common vic. Foxborough Regional Center for the Performing Arts, DBA Orpheum Theater at 1 School Street, approved for a common vic, wine and malt 7-day entertainment and annual Sunday entertainment license. New England Authentic Eats LLC DBA Papagenos at 8 Commercial Street, approved for a common vic and 7-day entertainment license.
I pass the baton, here we go.
There we go.
All right. Actually, is that a repeat of the last one?
No, it's a different one,
Okay,
so
all
there's
right.
two
Oh, that's right,
Papagenos
two
in town.
Papagenos, okay. New England Authentic Eats LLC doing business as Papagino/D'Angelo's at 211 North Street, approved for common vic and 7-day entertainment license. St. Virgin Mary, Inc., doing business as Pizza Time at 121 Main Street, approved for a common vic license. Christopher Gunn, doing business as Primo Sandwich Shop, Inc., at 6 Mechanic Street, approved for a common vic license. Keshev Krupa LLC, doing business as Quick Stop at 79 Summer Street, approved for a wine and malt package store license. T&O Walker, Inc., doing business as Rally Point Inc. and Pub, 26 rooms at 9 Mechanic Street, approved for common vic, in-holder, all alcohol, and 7-day entertainment, as well as 2 pool table licenses. Red Robin International, Inc., doing business as Red Robin, America's Gourmet Burgers and Spirits at 201 Patriot Place, approved for common vic, all alcohol, and 7-day entertainment license. Colwyn Management, Inc., doing business as Renaiissance Hotel at Patriot Place in Hilton Garden, 292 rooms at 27-28 Patriot Place, approved for a common vic license, in-holder, all alcohol, and 7-day entertainment license. Third Generation Enterprises, Inc., doing business at Route 1 Liquor Mart at 29 Washington Street, approved for an all-alcohol package store license. Hong Yi, Inc., doing business as Saga Hibachi Steakhouse at 295 Patriots Place, approved for a common vic, all-alcohol, and 7-day entertainment license. Big Night Venues, LLC, doing business as Scorpion Bar and Mexican Cantina at 253 Patriot Place, approved for a common vic, all alcohol, and 7-day entertainment license. SC Foxborough LLC, doing business as Shaking Crab at 4 Foxborough Boulevard, approved for a common vic and all alcohol license. Quincy Amusements, Inc., doing business as Showcase Cinema Deluxe at 24 Patriot Place, approved for a common vic, all alcohol, 7-day entertainment, annual Sunday entertainment, automatic amusement, arcade, and movie theater license. Foxborough Hospitality LLC, doing business as Six Strings at 275 Patriots Place, approved for a common vic, all alcohol, 7-day entertainment, and annual Sunday entertainment license.
Okay. Big Tuna LLC, doing business as Skipjacks at 226 Patriot Place, approved for a common victualler, all alcohol, and 7-day entertainment license. Sonesta International Hotels Corporation, doing business as Sonesta Select Boston Foxborough, 149 rooms at 35 Foxborough Boulevard, approved for a common victualler, in-holder, all alcohol, and 7-day entertainment license. SPY Corp. Doing business as South Street Pizzeria at 16 South Street, approved for a common victualler license. SV Patriot Place LLC, doing business as Splitsville Patriot Place at 220 Patriot Place, approved for a common victualler, all alcohol, and 7-day entertainment license. Starbucks Corporation, doing business as Starbucks Coffee, number 47754 at Foxborough Boulevard, approved for a common victualler and 7-day entertainment license. Starbucks Corporation, doing business as Starbucks Coffee, 59326 PP at 74 Washington Street, approved for a common victualler, 7-day entertainment license. Shoveltown Brewery, Inc., doing business as Station 1 by Shoveltown at 44 School Street, approved for a common victualler, farmer brewery pouring, and 7-day entertainment license. Karan Patel, doing business as Subway at 18 Central Street, approved for a common victualler license. Sweetness and Honey, doing business as Sweetness and Honey at 46 Central Street, approved for a common victualler license. Better Foods LLC, doing business as Tavolino Restaurant at 274 Patriot Place, approved for a common victualler, all alcohol, and 7-day entertainment license. LLH LLC, doing business as Trader Joe's, number 528 at 350 Patriot Place, approved for an all-alcohol package store license. Mahant Management LLC, doing business as Tropical Smoothie at 22 Patriot Place, approved for a common victualler license. Bass Pro Outdoor World LLC, doing business as Uncle Buck's Snack Shop, Bass Pro Outdoor World at 1 Bass Pro Drive, approved for a common victualler and automatic amusement license. Kitchen Partners doing business as Union Straw at 8 Mechanic Street, approved for a common victualler, all alcohol, 7-day entertainment, and annual Sunday entertainment license. Wormtown Brewery LLC doing business as Wormtown Brewery at 250 Patriot Place, approved for a common victualler, farmer brewery pouring, and 7-day entertainment license. Ravi and Rushi Corporation doing business as Express Mini Mart at 126 Main Street, approved for an all-alcohol package store license. Hughes Entertainment Incorporated doing business as Extreme Craze at 30 Commercial Street, FB, approved for a common victualler, 7-day entertainment, annual Sunday entertainment, automatic amusement, arcade, and movie theater license.
Okay, so that was all part of our motion. So that's our longest motion yet. Great teamwork. Any further discussion?
Oh, it's a lot of businesses.
Yeah, it is. All those in favor?
It's a good thing.
All right, great. So cruising right along, we are at you, Bill, I think.
Okay. I think that is the longest business list I've ever listened to.
It's impressive.
It's impressive, actually. It is very impressive. So just a couple things. First of all, I just want to say congratulations to the board and to John Coderre. Known John a long time. He's a solid guy. He's going to do a great job, I think, for the town. I think you'll be pleased with his work. He's a very dedicated guy. Him and I talked this afternoon, and I wished him well, congratulated him. And committed to him that, I'll do everything I can to make the transition as smooth as possible. There's a lot of things he's got to come up to speed on, and we'll try and work them very closely to make sure that happens. And so make sure that, I'll take the opportunity to bring him around and meet a lot of people, and so he feels very comfortable in the new role. So congratulations to both you and to John for reaching that agreement today. As far as this past week, we did go to the MMA annual conference, and it was a great opportunity to get together with a lot of people. We haven't done that in a long time. It's been a couple of years since COVID hit, and I think everybody that was there was excited to get together with people and again in person and able to share their experiences and knowledge and to see in person. Leah was able to go, and Christina and myself and a few others were able to go, and it was a great opportunity to get together and learn from other folks about what's good about local government. So I think it was great. I think what was most interesting too is one thing I'm pleased to report is that the town of Foxborough was listed right out of the gate as being the winner of a new award this year, the Kenneth E. Pickard Municipal Innovation Award for 2023 goes to the town of Foxborough for firefighter PFAS exposure reduction through incident activation risk analysis, which actually this actual award is really a two-phased award because it goes to the Foxborough Fire Department, but also goes to SEMREC because they teamed up to make this happen by virtue of putting together this recognition system so that when the calls come through, they're then able to explain to the crew what kind of equipment they should be wearing when they go to the incident. And by doing that, it actually reduces the number of opportunities for firefighters to actually wear the turnout gear, which in and of itself is a concern because of the PFAS that's contained in the equipment itself. So this is actually recognized not only from the statewide level, but on the national level as well. So, and it's I fully expect that we'll receive more recognition on that particular process. And it's been recognized by the union on a statewide level as well as a nationwide level. So we're very pleased that we have such great people thinking about these things on a regular basis. So congratulations to the fire department and to SEMREC for pulling this program together.
And Chief Kelleher talked about that too when he came in, just to remind everyone as well.
That's great. As far as that, we do have some new hires, of course, John Coderre being one, but we also have a new senior youth services librarian, Emma Brelsford, who will be starting in February. Recreation and seasonal jobs will be posted soon. Assistant treasurer collector position is to be posted as well. And the community resource social worker and collections coordinator position closed and we're looking to hire that individual probably within the next week. So we do. Veronica Harvey, who was assistant treasurer collector, is now taking on the job of being treasure collector for the town of Needham. So congratulations to her, and that's why we're here for posted position. Today was her last day, so I want to wish her very well and best wishes in her new role as treasure collector for the town of Needham. That's all I have, Madam Chair.
All right, great. So going right into Selectmen's update, obviously, we were all at special town meeting last night on the 30th. All 9 articles were adopted. The one that I will call out is the formal changing of our board's name to Select Board. So, there's some work to be done there going forward. We have been informally using it for a little bit, but we are now official. And it was nice. We were out of there in about an hour and a half. So it was a good, productive meeting. All right, the ribbon cutting for Everything Bagel is moved. It was going to be on Thursday, 2/2, but the new date, Christina, just
February 22nd.
February
It's a Wednesday
22nd.
at 9 a.m.
Is anyone able to attend that one? It is school vacation, so it's a little tough for me
Yeah,
to.
that's a Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday.
Wednesday? I think I can,
Okay.
I can probably.
I can follow up.
Okay, Dennis, you think you can
I
do?
think I
Okay,
can do it.
okay, so let us
Yeah.
know if you can. We'll make sure that someone's there. I think most of us have tried Everything Bagel at this point and are excited to have them in town. Sneaking right up on us, the annual town meeting warrant is to close on February 14th. It would be good to circulate a placeholder, just the placeholders again. I had mentioned to Bill last night too, I know that there's some controversy with the time of our town meeting, and at the MMA conference, talking to everyone, maybe Christina, you could kind of look around, but I feel like we are definitely in the minority with the time that we start at. It's a little bit tougher though, because it is actually in our bylaw, so we're not able to just easily change the time. I don't know if we as a board want to take up a recommendation to loosen the language about that. I have not talked to Frank, I have not talked to Bob. Just something I thought of that I have not talked with the board yet, just wanted to kind of toss it around maybe for a future agenda as new business, to allow us a little bit more flexibility.
Meaning having it 2 weeks after election?
This is just the time, just to starting at 7:30 PM.
Oh.
So some other towns we have seen have flexed during COVID, they started later, they started earlier, they, moved to, because ours is written in the bylaw, we're not able to just kind of flex. So I don't know if maybe that's something, Bill, you can take to Pat for some suggested bylaw language to, I think, maybe it stays where it is, but having a little bit of flexibility is not necessarily a bad thing, and that's also on the location. So it is in our bylaw, I believe, that it'll be at the high school. We saw during COVID, we talked about flexing, maybe some statutes would have allowed us some more flexibility we normally would not have had, but that is something that I'm interested in, just having some more discussions, possibly in addition to anything that's on the warrant. So I don't know if there's anything else to call out to the board warrant-wise that we need to talk about, but that is hot off the press, thinking about it last night.
Brand new, yeah.
No, but it's a great idea just to to have the flexibility, because if it's a big warrant, you lose the people at the end. And
Yeah,
then
7:30,
Yeah.
7:30 is late,
Yeah.
but I kind of people get settled in. You're never going to have a time that's going to work for everyone, but I think most people, with the state of the world today, are home from work or working from home or able to plan ahead to maybe start just a little bit earlier to get a jump start so it's not as late of an evening, so.
So since it is your warrant, you should be given the authority to set the time. It's your warrant.
Yeah, so I would like to talk to Pat about how we can loosen, I don't think anyone plans to change it from the high school, but if we ever, let's say the high school floods, or there's some kind of emergency, I would like to ease up some of that language to allow for flexibility in the future if the board agrees to take that to town meeting.
Right.
Okay. All right, just another reminder under old business that the elected and appointed board and committee informational night will be February 7th, so it's a week from tonight at 6 PM in the first floor conference room. I know we mentioned a number of positions that are up. They're actually up on the town clerk's website. We are also still seeking a representative for the Southeastern Regional School District. I know as a parent with kids in the school, I got an email, I think everyone's talking to people and trying to see if someone will step into that role. Otherwise, the town of Foxborough will not be represented. It is a 10 or 11 member board, so I don't think that there's quorum issues. However, everyone's trying to find something. I know Southeastern's kind of chomping at the bit to get a name, but if we don't have anyone stepping forward, that will, basically go empty until the election or until someone does step forward. So just a PSA on that, if anyone's looking to dip their toe into an elected position until November. Under old business, as I've already mentioned once this evening, on Thursday night, February 2nd at 7 PM here in this room, we will be meeting with the Central Street Veterans Parking Lot stakeholders to talk about a number of different items. And I've already hit on the Southeastern Regional School District representative, so that will have to be a joint appointment. If someone does come forward, I think the school committee is taking a little bit more of a lead, though rightfully so, on trying to find someone, but we do have to mark that appointment once it's made. Anything else under Selectmen's update from the board? Yes?
Yeah, so, thanks, Leah. I just wanted
Yes.
to.
Sorry, that was not intentional. I forgot.
Oh, no, that's
Okay.
totally fine. So I just wanted to take a moment to commend George and Marie and the rest of our finance team. As you all know, I spend a lot of time thinking about, free cash presentation and budget and how to represent data and show trends, and so I'm thinking forward. And that's all well and good. I think it's important, though, to recognize the work that the finance team, George and Marie, and the rest of the team has done. A lot of great work putting together the budget book in a really strong format. And the work that they did thus far on the financial trending and analysis, really impressive. So really strong results from that team. And I know that I feel like this is the right team to continue to move forward and make progress. So I just wanted to take a moment and express my appreciation and gratitude for that team, for the good work they've done already, and the work that I know will continue to do.
Thank you very much. I did forget that one. And budget books will be coming out tomorrow, from what I understand. So.
Yep, they're ready, and I actually signed the letter today, so it'll be going out tomorrow.
So I'm sure Christina will send us a note, when you're driving by Town Hall or
Late
able to.
afternoon.
Able to pick them up, yeah. That's, so for those that are chomping to get them, they're coming out. They're coming out tomorrow.
So just so nobody is surprised by tomorrow, I actually did a little different approach this year than I have in the past, because, we have had a very lean budget for the past 3 years in a row. We've actually, on average, been under 3%, like 2.8% on average. So obviously, there's been some needs that have actually continued to grow as a result of that. So, but the direction of the board was to try and get to a 3% budget, which we got close to. We got 3.17, I think, was the number we came in at. But I also looked at the needs as well, and so I'm going to present those to you, because I think it's important that you see those, and that these are things that I do recommend that you consider, because there are needs in public safety, there are needs in public works that we've been not addressing because we just haven't had the ability to do that. I think you're in a better position to do that this year coming up than you have in previous years. So it's something else. So I'm going to present both sides so you take a look and really consider that. Okay.
All right, great. Anything else? All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 action items here.
Okay, motion to approve Mark Boucher or Boucher, does anyone know? Mark Boucher and Naomi Boucher to the Veteran Services Advisory Committee for a term to end May 31st, 2025.
Second.
Any further discussion? Always exciting to see new names on committees in town. All those in favor?
Aye. Okay. Motion to accept a $220 donation from Emily Bonin for new veterans markers.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those-
Anybody know where they stand now? Are they close? Was it 3,000?
I think they're approving every single one, so.
Yeah. Was it
I
with
believe they're about able to buy the first round of the new
Okay.
markers.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay, great, yeah. All right, so all those in favor?
Aye. Motion to approve the extended outdoor off-hours work request for the Gillette Stadium North End Zone under the conditions set forth by the Foxborough Police Chief and Select Board.
Second.
All right, under further discussion on this one, the hours are staying the same, but the date is coming out, is that correct?
Yes, so they will be doing it till May 31st. They wanted to do it until October 31st, but in
Okay.
speaking with the building commissioner, Scott Shippey, he was more comfortable with May 31st and then could reassess, especially when
Okay.
the spring and people's windows are open.
So it's not that it's necessarily later, it's kind of what they're doing now, that's already later, but we're extending the date, and I did ask Christina to check with police, make sure there was no complaints, Scott Shippey, and there's no concerns with this one. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Motion to approve the December 20th, 2022 Board of Selectmen meeting minutes.
Second.
Under further discussion, I did recuse myself from that first item. I know it says it in the vote. I don't know if you need to say it up top because I did move to the audience and everything.
Okay.
That's my only comment that I had on that one. So, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the January 17th, 2023 Board of Selectmen meeting minutes.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Well ahead of schedule. Okay, all right.
Impressive.
All those in favor? Aye.
Bye.